Hi, welcome to Caribou Country Lifestyle. My name is Cheryl and we're going to be doing another garden tour. It's mid-June and let's take a look and see how things are going. Been doing lots of planting still have more planting to do, but we're coming to the end of our planting, but let's take a look and see what's going on. We'll just start right here on the very first bed. So I've got a couple of little peppers that I have growing in here. These peppers here, those are the Tabasco peppers. And then beside the Tabascos, I have the tomatoes, and I have them growing up the panel on this side. This is more of an arbor panel. These two tomatoes here side by side, I have one pink tag in between them. This is the natural black cherry tomatoes. And then this tomato over here, that is the Oxheart tomato. Beside the Oxheart, these are my gypsy peppers. And this is all plants that I have started from seed, started them in my house. A gypsy pepper is a sweet pepper, kind of like in a banana shaped pepper. In behind my tomatoes and peppers, I have the Bloomsdale spinach, and I have been picking off of that quite a bit. Beside the Bloomsdale spinach is my Swiss chard, and I just recently thinned that out a little bit, giving it some extra room. They've got about 6 inches in between each of the plants. I've planted a little zinnia there, and then I've also started some more radishes. I picked out all my other radishes that I had, and I've planted more radishes, so I have a sparkle tip. And then in the next section, I planted more French breakfast. And then at this side, down here, I decided to do some cherry bell radishes this time. And if we just come over to this bed here, I have, these are the gold finger carrots going along that row. Down at the end of the gold finger carrots, I put in a little nasturtium. Behind the carrots are my kohlrabi. I thinned those out as well. They have about 6 inches in between each of the plants. They are coming along very nicely. And if we come in behind the kohlrabi, these here are my shorter version of the snap pea. These are the little crunch snap peas, and they're the ones that are only going to get about 2.5 to 3 feet high. I did plant some pole beans in behind. I can't even see. Okay, if we look right straight down, you can see a few sprouts, and those are my pole beans coming up in behind there, and they are going to climb up this panel, and when they climb up, they're going to go all the way to the top, and some even surpass over the hump there. Now we'll come over to this bed here, my U-shaped bed, and this is another variety of spinach. This is the countryside spinach, and I have a zinnia in behind there. I've finally got some peas sprouting up. I've planted those peas 3 times. The first 2 times were with some really old seed, and it just wasn't, nothing was happening. So I got some new seed, put it in, and now it's growing. In front of that, I have a couple of little sprouts, and that is the red romaine lettuce. And my 4 Seasons lettuce still has nothing coming up. And this is the red kitten spinach. And again, I've been picking from the countryside spinach and the red kitten spinach. The red kitten spinach was seeds that I had gotten from my sister. I planted some gold zucchini and green zucchini in this corner, but nothing has come up yet. And in behind I have a sunflower in the back. And then over here on this side I've been putting zinnias in the back. And then in the very front you see those little wisps of green. Those are my onions that I just planted. I just planted those the other day. Then I have in the back, I put in some assorted sunflowers in the back. And in all along the front, those are all onions planted. And all along the back, those are all sunflowers planted up to there. And then that's a zinnia planted there as well. I did a little block of onions here with a little zinnia there. This squash here, I bought these plants because my seed didn't take. This is the mashed potato squash. And I have 2 plants here, and it is going to spread. I'm going to have it so it spreads out across where my asparagus didn't come up. In behind that mashed potato, there's a little sunflower in the very back corner. Now here, this is my Denver half-long carrots, and I have been thinning these out to make space. Behind here, these are the Golden Detroit beets. And then behind the Golden Detroit beets, it was just I only had a few seeds, so I'm only going to get a few Golden Detroit beets. We'll have to order some more seeds, or if I happen to find some along in my shopping travels, I'll get some. Behind these ones here, these are the baby beets. And those will probably be ready pretty soon here. I have more zinnias here. These little sprouts. This is my green, the dwarf green curled kale. And then I planted some sunflowers here. Here I have 3 plants of celery. And then I have another nasturtium. I planted some more tomato, or some more onions, and I put them in front of these tomatoes here. So these tomatoes, these 2 in the back, these are my yellow pear tomatoes, and it's a cherry tomato. And then on this side is the Amish paste, which is like a Roma tomato there. Then I have 2 cayenne peppers on the end here. And then we'll just go over to this side. Have another nasturtium. I planted some more onions in front of these tomatoes. These tomatoes here, I have 2 Brandywine tomatoes. And then over here I have the Carnival Blend tomato, which is another variety of the Brandywine. Another nasturtium, zinnia, couple of, this one here actually is a sunflower. It's a Monet's Palette sunflower. So I've never grown that before. Excited to see what that's going to be. Underneath these leaves, I have some rutabagas coming in under these leaves. This is my Hikuri salad turnip. And I am actually going to pick one of these and we are going to try it together. I have to be quick here, it's going to start raining. Of course it is. So I've decided I'm going to pick this one. And it said to wait until it gets about 2 inches around, and that's definitely 2 inches around. And I put a little cup of water here. I've got my knife. I'm just going to cut the top off. And cut this bottom off. Just gonna give it a little wash. I haven't been a big fan, I'm not a big fan of turnips. I like them raw in a veggie dip, but I'm not a big fan of them cooked. So let's try it out. They have like a kind of a fruity taste to them. Yeah, they're nice. I like it. Yeah, there's like a sweetness to it. Like it's kind of crunchy, but not like super hard crunchy, not crunchy like an apple, but it still has a good crunch to it. It kind of reminds me a little bit like jicama. I don't know if you've ever had jicama, or the kohlrabi, but there's a sweetness to it. I really like these. These are good. Okay. Well, it said in the notes that you could eat this in a salad. You can roast them. I think, well, I would eat this by itself, like I am. Okay. Yeah, I'm really glad that I planted these. They're really good. I like them. I'll just finish this last little piece, and then I'll water my plants. So I think I'm going to pick a bunch of these, and then I can just give these to my chickens. They will love it. The Hikiri salad turnip has a little bit of spice to it, but it's not too bad. Okay, let's check this out too. This is the Asian watermelon radish. Let's check this out. Since we're checking things out. Oh, this one's gone to seed. So there's nothing that's developed there, I can tell. Here's another one that's gone to seed. We got a few of them. I mean, it would be different if I was ready to, maybe if it was closer to the end of the season, I would let some of these go to seed. And then I could save the seed from it. But it's a little too early for that. I'll just see if I can get one. There's quite a few here that have gone to seed. Let me take a look and see if there's one that I could pick, that I could try. What I should do is thin these out. You know, if I had half a mind, I would thin these out. Great time to decide to do that. Okay, so over here I have some more zinnias planted. These peppers here are the California Wonder. I have 2 California Wonder. And in front of the California Wonder, I have a little pink tag there. This I have planted some French fillet beans. And they're a type of a bush bean. In between these peppers, I put in some more onion plants. These 2 peppers are Big Bertha, blocky style sweet pepper. I haven't grown these before, so I'm not exactly sure what they're going to be like. And then along here, I ended up planting some more of my Chinese toi choy because I picked all the other ones that I had and we ate those and they were absolutely wonderful. I just sauteed them with a little bit of sesame oil, some soy sauce, fresh ginger, fresh garlic, and yeah, I think that was it. And had that alongside as a side dish to our meal. On this side, these tomatoes here are the black Krim tomatoes. This is my first year with black Krim. And beside the black Krim, this is my Aunt Ruby's German green. And again, I'm going to be staking them up this panel. Another nasturtium. Over here in the front are the bull's blood beets. And in behind them are my cylinder beets. And I have come through here and thinned these out. Right in between, I put a sunflower in there. And we'll come over to this other side. There's my onions that I have let flower, and they will go to seed. And I can collect those. That was my annual hardy bunching onions. They're just a thin little green onion. I left them in there over winter. And they've come back, and this is what's happening. So I will collect the seeds off of those. On this side in the back are tomatoes. This is my New Girl tomatoes. Just an average medium-sized tomato. And then here are the Indigo Rose. It's a cherry tomato. And then I put in a couple of, these two little plants here. This is the Goldfinger Tithonia. It's a Mexican sunflower. And then a little nasturtium there in the corner. And then these carrots here are the Scarlet Nantes. Yes, the Scarlet Nantes carrots that I have here. And I've thinned them out a bit. On this bed at the back here, those 3 peppers are jalapeno peppers. Then I have these 2 are one variety of the eggplant. And of course I don't have which one. I'm not sure if they're the Black Beauty or the Vittoria. So 2 are Vittoria and 2 are Black Beauty, and I can't remember which is which, and I did not put the tag in with them. So wasn't that smart of me? Okay, these 2 peppers here, these are my shishito peppers, and I'm really excited to see what these are going to turn out to be like. And then in behind here, this is the Cherokee Purple tomato, and this is my first year for that. In front of the Cherokee Purple, I actually planted some Dragon Tongue bush beans. These little spiky plants, those are my garlic. Beside that is my old German tomatoes. And then I planted these 2 beds here. On this side, this is a gourmet blend mix of lettuce that I planted. And I'm planting my cucumbers on this side to go up this panel. I put in some more zinnias. And then over here, I have put in the Ruby Queen beets with the pink tag. And the blue tag is Early Wonder beets. Over on this bed, the first blue tag is the Nantes carrots, the Nantes Scarlet carrots. And on the other side are the red, Atomic Red carrots. And I haven't seen anything for those yet at all. I did 2 types of romaine. If you see here, there's a stick. And I've planted some romaine lettuce, but I haven't seen anything come up there. And then on this side of the panel, this first tomato, that's an Oxheart tomato. And then the 2 in beside it, Those are my chocolate sprinkle cherry tomatoes. Then I have another type of romaine lettuce on this side, and I haven't seen anything coming up on that yet either. Then in my circular bed, I have a variety of all kinds of flowers. I have lilies, monkshood, I have the columbines, I have chamomile. Then for my annuals, I put in nasturtiums, lobelia, alyssum, going all the way around. There's another type of lily there. I also put in some holy basil, the tulsi, and I have parsley. Here's a little rosemary, couple of little rosemaries. There's my parsley. I have some basil. I did do some lemon basil, but it's not looking very good. But this basil here looks really good. And oh yes, I have the borage as well. And I have carnations that I planted. And also the columbines in behind there. So that's it for what's in my garden area. Now, in these buckets, this one I planted my mint, and I have a regular mint, and then I have an apple mint, and then I've put a lot of flowers in around here. I have snapdragons, verbena, salvia. I have a tall version of snapdragons, and then I have a shorter version, the mini mix of the snapdragons. And I basically did the same thing over on this bucket. I just don't have any mint in this bucket. But again, it's snapdragons, salvia, lobelia, or not lobelia, verbena. So I have the two types, a tall version of snapdragons and a shorter version of snapdragons, along with the verbena and the salvia. Then I planted my large head sunflowers. I put one on this side, and then on the other side of my gate, over there, but on the other side of those two buckets, I put two more of the large head sunflowers. But I also planted these little sweet peas. I did some Old Spice sweet peas to climb up the panel of the fence. It's just growing like crazy. I can't believe it. And I can now, this is just weeds, tell the difference with the potatoes. So in this front row, these potatoes are quite a bit shorter. Now these three, this is three of the same variety. These ones here in the front, that's one plant in this bag. This was planted in just garden soil. And behind it, same variety, was planted in a mix of garden soil and compost. And behind it, that was planted in just compost. So you look at how much shorter this variety is in just the garden soil, as opposed to the garden soil and the compost. And then this one's just a little taller, and that's just straight compost. Same thing with this one. What variety is this? This is the Vincis. This is just straight soil. Look at how short it is. And then you come to this one in behind, and that's the compost in the soil. And well, the one in behind and just the compost, it's a little bit taller, but this one is already starting to produce flowers, and this one isn't quite producing flowers, and this one has no flowers on it at all. These three are all the same variety. Whereas this one This is the front. What variety is this? I gotta look at the next bag in because I can't see. These are the Yukon Gold. These are really short. And then in behind that, these are super tall. And that's with the, like I say, with the soil and the compost. I think the compost mixed with the soil is good. And then of course the compost by itself is good too. But planting it just in the straight soil, they're not growing as much as these ones in behind. So kind of good to know. So that's, these are my potatoes. I have 7 varieties and there's 3 bags in each variety. So I have 21 bags of potatoes. And like I say, some are starting to develop the flowers on them. And that could be because they're an earlier variety too, as well. Some of these are a later variety. When I look at these in the front, like this is just obviously a taller variety because these ones, this is quite a bit shorter in the front, but then this is a little taller, not by much. And this variety is the Warba potato. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. And of course there's just weeds in here, but they're not in the plants. They're growing around the bags, the weeds are. So, but they're easy enough to pull out. So yeah, it's kind of cool. I like this little experiment. And here's what I have left to plant. So far we have the beds done up. Jamie's put all the bark mulch around the beds. He cut the grass. He brought out the weed eater and cut back all the tall grass. And then we're just going to put in these T-posts. And we have our roll of fence here. And then I can plant these 2 beds. So like I say, a lot of it's going to be brassicas, my broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage. And then I have a bunch of sweet potato slips in the house that I have them in jars of water, and they're actually rooting up those plants there. Now let's go over here. This is where the rest of my plants are. I just posted on my garden club site on Facebook to try and get rid of the rest of my tomatoes. So I still have about 30 varieties of tomatoes left, and I'm going to try and sell those to some of the people in my gardener club. And then over here I have, it's mostly flowers, but in back there's my brassicas that I have to plant. I have my cucumbers there that I've brought out to harden off. And then over here I have my spaghetti squash and butternut squash. And then here I have morning glories that I put the seeds in, and I'm going to be planting those along that fence too to have them climb up and have some flowers on there too. Okay, so down here on my deck I have bush varieties, which I can just have these tomato cages on. I don't have to worry about staking them. And these first 2, these are my Manitoba tomatoes, and that's just a medium sized red tomato. Next to it, that in this basket, that I have is a yellow tumbler, and I also have a Torenzo, and that is another one that you can put into a hanging basket, and it's red cherry tomatoes that come on that. This one here, that is a sweetie cherry. This is an indeterminate, and I just didn't have room to have it out in my garden area, so I have decided to put it into a hanging basket. And oh, sorry, this is not a sweetie cherry. This is my cherry Roma. That is an indeterminate. and I've put it into a hanging basket over, and we'll just see what happens. This next one, that is a Celebrity, and it is another type of bush tomato, an average red, medium-sized tomato, another Torenzo, and a yellow tumbler. This one here is a Lemon Boy, and it is a bush variety, and it just has medium-sized yellow tomatoes on it. Then over here, this is my San Marzano, and that is the San Marzano as well. And in behind, that is a Sweetie Cherry. That is next to it in the black pot is another Lemon Boy. And then this one over here with the little green sides on it, I have it in a hanging basket. That is the other Cherry Roma. And then these two are the Celebrities. So I have quite an assortment of plants going on, some on the deck, mostly out in my garden. Like I say, I still have quite a bit of stuff to plant out in the garden, just mostly in those two big rows. And then I have my flower bed at the front of the house. I have to plant that all in flowers. I'm going to be planting some perennials in there as well. I have some oh geez, I can't even think of what they are. The hollyhocks, that's what they are. So I have a Queenie Purple hollyhock and I have a Niagara hollyhock, and I plan on planting some of those out in the front also. And then I have a couple of buckets that I want to fill up with more flowers. I just have so many flowers. And then I have my cucumbers to plant as well, and those morning glories to plant too. So going to be doing a lot of planting on the weekend here. It's Friday, the middle of June, and it's supposed to be raining on and off, but that's okay. I can always plant in between the rains. So I hope you like this video. If you like the video, throw a like in there, and if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. Anyways, thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again soon. Bye for now.